in Mrs. Catherine O'Leary's barn. 2, we know she was an Irish Catholic immigrant. 3, we know she owned a cow. And 4, we know that the city was angry. The city was looking to blame somebody, looking for a scapegoat. And of all people, they blamed her. Anybody know? Her cow, exactly, of all people, guys. They said Mrs. Catherine O'Leary's cow intentionally and maliciously kicked over a kerosene lantern and started the fire. Now, personally, I don't think it's true. I've known plenty of Irish cows. They wouldn't do that on purpose. I think the cow was framed. I think the city just needed a scape cow. He started it, guys. I think it was a cowspiracy. I think it's utterly unjust. Stay with me, guys. The city had a beef with Mrs. O'Leary, and she pretty much had to hoof it out of town. Yeah, this is what I heard. Now, holy cow, or cowabunga, I know there was a lot at stake, but I think it's time Chicago stop milking this cheesy story and stop crying over spilt lanterns and move on. That's the end of the tip. Come on, give me a hashtag dad jokes rule. You know, on the whole, only 2% of people because the fire was the worst thing. Some people think it was one of the best things to happen in Chicago. The first city of Chicago burnt down. This is the second city. That's one of the reasons it gets the nickname, the second city. It rose up out of the ashes of the old. Big urban fires, by the way, attract architects who came from around the country to rebuild this city, which explains why we're on an architectural boat tour here today. So there's our first story, guys. It's indeed a story of destruction. Here's the second story. You guys doing okay back there? Everybody good? You can all hear? You doing okay? Okay, good. Here's the second story. It's 22 short years after the fire had destroyed the city, Chicago had rebuilt itself well enough to be able to host the World's Fair in 1893. That's a pretty good comeback in 22 years, right? Now the guy they put in charge was important, okay? He was a young architect. His name was Daniel Burnham. He's kind of the visionary heroic architect of Chicago. Now this is important, guys, because you see, Daniel Burnham, guys, was part of a philosophy of architecture in the late 1800s called the City Beautiful movement. What do you guys think of this? I think it's beautiful. He said they believed that beautiful cities, that beauty itself has this inspiring, civilizing, dignifying effect on people, that beauty affects us, shapes culture, makes us better people. I think it's true. A lot of people came. That fair was important because it put Chicago back on the map after the fire. It inspired the city and gave us a desire for more beauty. They like what they saw. Here's what's going to happen. Our Captain Rob's going to take us up here and do our second U-turn. This time, as promised, we're going to head out towards the lake, which is, trust me, that's where you're going to get some amazing photos. Third story. So Daniel Burnham grows up. He's a hero. He's a rock star. City leaders say, "Hey, Daniel, you're wicked smart. You're from Boston, you're wicked smart. Why don't you replan, reimagine, redraw the map of this industrial, chaotic city of Chicago in 1909?" And he does.
1909 সালে এখানে ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল
Daniel Burnham
civilization বলা যায়
This is the first comprehensive urban city plan in the country, which means Chicago has been doing urban city planning longer than others and is very good at it. True story. 2 years ago, a young guy got off the boat, tells me he just got his master's degree in urban city planning. He said they spend the first 2 weeks of grad school studying the Burnham Plan of Chicago of 1909. It's kind of a big deal. Daniel Burnham, City Beautiful movement. He wants Chicago to be, as he said, the Paris on the prairie. Here we are in the Midwest Plains, right? Paris on the prairie. Big boulevards, fountains, monuments, public art, great vistas. He wants Chicago to be a city
মেমোরিয়াল ডে
and
সেই হিসেবে এটা লং উইকেন্ড ছিল শনি রবি আজকে
That's a
সব
different priority. In fact, he wants every Chicago citizen to be within walking distance to a park. 614 parks in the city of Chicago. 9% of the land is park space. Many of our 246 neighborhoods are
আবার আমাদের
named after the parks that they surround. I live in Humboldt Park. Now this plan, guys,
লঞ্চটা টার্ন
telling you,
নিচ্ছে
it shaped the face and the
কোন দিকে
character
যায়
of
কে
the
জানে।
city in so many ways. What was on this Burnham plan of 1909? Well, Grant Park itself,
আইকন থিয়েটার
the whole front
ওই যে
lawn,
ওটা
the
আইকন
playground, the city of Chicago, that's all landfill. Buckingham Fountain, there was nothing there. It was on the Burnham plan. Museum campus, landfill, Burnham plan.
এটা একটা ইন্ডাস্ট্রি বলেই মনে হচ্ছে
Landfill, Burnham plan.
এটা
The
একটা
concept
ইন্ডাস্ট্রি
of the Riverwalk was in the 1909
চিমনি
plan.
টিমনি
It took us
যাদের
over 100 years to achieve that one. You know, many Chicagoans might recognize Daniel Burnham's famous quotation. He said, "Make no small plans, because they have no magic to stir men's blood." Isn't that nice? We got this magically beautiful city, guys, that inspires and stirs our blood because he dared to dream big dreams. So hopefully you can see, guys, these three stories we just told, they kind of go together. A fire destroyed, a fair animated, and a plan beautified. And it all goes back to an Irish cow that was framed. And they lived happily ever after. Let me give you a 30-second break there. Talk among yourselves there.